What's up, Blazionaires and Blazionettes? So I finally sat through the movie, and you want to know how I really feel about it? Now that I've sat through it, now that I gave it a chance, I honestly did not have an issue with it. Yep, you heard me. I did not have, any. I didn't have that many issues with the movie. I mean, in fact, there's very little I had issues with, but I'm not going to say what they are because I'm going to keep this review spoiler-free as possible. Now, I will say that even the crowd that me and my girlfriend were sitting with, the theater full of people, the audience, they laughed at almost every joke that that the movie threw at us. And I chuckled and giggled, myself, but there were people around me were dying. There were more adults than kids. I think there were a lot more adults than children. The youngest, of the audience was probably teenagers, I think. Yeah, that's probably the youngest that I've seen. Even people came dressed up as Ghostbusters too, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. But on the scale from you must see this movie to save your money, do not go watch this garbage, I'm like somewhere right there in the medium where I'm just like, my mind is open and I accept the movie for what it was, and and the characters, all four of the girls, all four of the Ghostbusters, I felt they made the movie worth watching. They weren't cringy, and it's not the funniest. It's not going to be the funniest movie you'll see this summer, in my opinion. I'm not calling it like a blockbuster comedy, but it's still a decent popcorn movie. I think would I recommend that you see it? If you can have an open mind and know that it's not going to be exactly the same original Ghostbusters that you grew up watching or that you've seen before, if you can accept that, if you can move past that, then I'd say yeah, go check it out. And if you are still clinging on to the original movies and you're like, this movie's garbage, I'm gonna hate it, I'm gonna hate it, then I guess with that all being said, I guess you may hate it. But no, I'm not exactly, it's not giving me this kind of vibe.
It's the best movie in the world. Go see that shit. You got to get out there and see it. You got to see this movie. You see what I'm saying?
It's not giving me that kind of vibe at all. But at the same time, okay, here's a better way, a more specific way for me to put it. You know how a lot of us were really hyped up for Spider-Man 3, including myself. I was super hyped. The black suit was introduced. Venom was gonna be thrown in. At some point in the movie. Like what's not to be hyped about? But when we saw the actual movie, I'm sure most of you have seen Spider-Man 3. If you sat through the actual movie and you walked out of that theater and you're just like, what the fuck was that? This is disappointing. Like, you going into the theater hyped up to see Spider-Man 3 and you walk out disappointed. Now, I walked into Ghostbusters with an open mind, like, okay, this, it's gonna be a hit or miss, it might be okay. And then I walked out saying, this movie was not bad. It did not live up to the backlash for me personally. I thought it was an acceptable experience. I wouldn't call it movie of the summer or movie of the year. As far as that goes, Captain America: Civil War, holds that is on that Iron Throne right now. So we still have some time to go before this year is done. So I can't see that many movies knocking that movie down in my book. But as far as this movie, I will say there's one minor spoiler, so turn off the video if you don't want to hear it. Just stop the video right here. It's just a small little joke. When the Ghostbusters would go and save the city and they go stop it, they go and capture Ghost, and then the mayor swoops in, and then pretends to arrest them for intervening or whatever, and then behind the media's back, behind the public's back, they say thank you for capturing the ghost, and then they just go and talk shit on the Ghostbusters right in front of national TV and shit. And then I think it was Erin, and then I think she said it. I think she said, "Now I know how Batman feels." I think that's a poor choice of reference. I would have said, "Now I know how Spider-Man feels." I mean, because you have J. Jonah Jameson making him look bad. Here's putting Spider-Man's name on the front page, putting his picture on the front page, and just talking mad shit in the headlines. You know what I mean? But for those of you who plan to see it, sit through the credits. I said, I don't know if I want to sit through the credits, but I'm glad I did, because there is an end credit scene. So check it out. So with that all being said, this gets I think 3.5 chair spins out of 5. 1, 2, 3.5, baby. But I was really saying, like, this movie could be a bigger flop than Fantastic Four. I mean, like, where a lot of people are going to hate it. But I think it's going to be another 50-50 where people, enjoy it, and some are like, oh, this is garbage. This is not what I grew up watching. And I know there's some of you who hide in the dark or disguise yourselves as not being sexist. Like where you're like, oh, why is it all women? Why is it all women? That's fucking bullshit. They're women. It's bullshit. When I first heard that news, it didn't bother me, really. I wasn't angry about it. But I'm sure there's some of you out there who hate this movie just because it's women. And I'm just gonna leave you in your bubble. But I would say, if you have an open mind and you want to get a good laugh, I think you may enjoy this movie. And if you're super clingy, and if you're a major fanboy into the original, I would say toss a coin on that one. I mean, like, if you want to take a chance with this movie, I'd say go for it. I would not say don't watch it. By all means, I will not say don't watch this movie. I would say check it out. I mean, like, I think you may be entertained. And it didn't live up to the backlash for me. I mean, the trailers were garbage. I mean, like, the humor felt dry and just stale and but I can guarantee you from my, in my opinion, that this movie has decent humor, and it kept me interested in the movie. I did not get heavy-eyed, I did not look away, I did not say, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna take a piss and take a dump. No, I did not. I stayed in my seat from beginning, middle, and end. So, and I think you'll enjoy it too. But I know there's gonna be a lot of you who disagree with me, like, what is your problem, Blasian? I mean, like, this is not a good movie. This is not an acceptable movie. What is your problem? You have issues. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, you can leave your comments and say you disagree, but if you're gonna talk mad shit on me for thinking a movie that a lot of people wanted to hate, that people were anticipating on hating, thinking that for me thinking that it's not bad. I mean, if you want to think I'm a piece of shit for that, then that's cool. But don't leave comments telling me about it, because I'm just gonna delete it. I'm just gonna delete those comments. But if you disagree, that's cool. But let's just be civil, okay? And if hey, if it helps you sleep at night, go ahead and thumb down this video. I mean, I really don't care. I'm just telling you my opinion on the movie. But yeah, I mean, like, leave your comments down below for those of you who have seen the movie. Let me know what you thought about it. And do you and by the way, I will say that it is a reboot. It's not a continuation at all. It does not follow the other movies like a sequel. It's like it stands on its own, and it pays homages to the material. But I mean, like, they've been dragging out the long-awaited part 3, and part of me is glad that we didn't get that, because it probably wouldn't be as good right now as it would have been, like, let's say back in like 1992 or 93 or something like that, or maybe 1998 at the latest. That's when I would accept that movie being made, or maybe in the year 2000. That's what I would have accepted it. But otherwise, I mean, at this time it would have been like, okay, you waited that long? What the fuck? But it's really rare, and it was a bold move for them to, you know, change it into women, an all women, you know, cast. I mean, it was a bold move. They took a chance, and you know, and every single actress that stuck, you know, committed, and they stood up for their decisions on being part of the movie, and I applaud them for doing that. I mean, it did not scare them away like, oh wow, I made the biggest mistake in my career. I mean, they really enjoyed it, and they stood up to it, and they're just basically like, okay, fuck you haters, fuck you Backlash, I ruined your childhood. Okay, fuck you for not, you know, giving this movie a chance. You know, I applaud them for that. But not the best movie of the summer, but it's still not. It does not live up to the Backlash. That's what I will say. So. Like I said, leave your comments. Let me know what you thought of the movie. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure you thumb up the video. And if you are really that butthurt, go ahead and thumb it down. I don't give a shit. And if make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.